Hey guys, what's going on? Little update on what's been going on in the crypto world today. So like many of us YouTubers do about crypto, we'll take a look at the market cap. So we're up to 364 billion. Um, you take a look at that market cap in the past like week, maybe 2 weeks, it's up over 100 billion, quietly climbing up there, mind you. So eventually we're going to hit those price points again, I think, and things are going to take off. My opinion, my gut feeling down there in the inner cockles of my stomach, I'm getting that, like, feeling that things are going to start taking off. Like, there's a lot of pressure building up. Bitcoin's been hanging around that, below that, whatever, we'll just say that 9,000 mark, well, 8,000 mark for so long, and now we're up above it. Looking at it now, it's 83.52. So we get to 8,500 and we might see some things take off. Ethereum up to 574. There's Ripple. I don't invest in Ripple because I'm not sure if people actually use it for a currency, but I do like that they are promoting a lot of projects and getting them into the blockchain. We need adoption. Bitcoin Cash getting real close to 1,000. That's it's an emotional number there. If it breaks 1,000, it may run up a couple more. Litecoin almost at 150. Need to stay a little bit lower for a little bit longer. I got some extra cash coming in. I might want to grab a few more of those suckers. Cardano's creeping up there. This is a long-term one here. Long-term. Same EOS. EOS is probably going to pop come June. Once their mainnet goes live, if things go smooth, plus the way most of their token distributions, they're similar to Ethereum. Companies or organizations want to create their own tokens for their ecosystem on EOS. Well, right now, a lot of them are doing airdrops. So if you have any EOS, make sure you register them. All right, you can go to EOS website. Instructions are very simple. Use my Ether wallet. I mean, you just follow it step by step, and it's not that hard to do. If you have any of those, Monero's creeping up there. What else? Oh, one of my bullish one. Oh, Misog. Oh, Misog. Oh, OMG. We need. This one's gonna take off. They're doing a lot of things, but they don't sit there and brag about it. They don't put out a road. They don't say, "Oh, we got this big announcement coming up on the 19th, and it's going to be the greatest thing ever." No, they just do it and then they announce it. So don't be surprised if there's some big things that come out of Amisa Go this year that, will have $15.87 right now is going to probably be a little bit higher than what it is now. Here's another one of those platforms that you don't hear too many talk about, but look where it's at in market cap. Number 22, it's Lisk. Lisk is another one of those platforms like Ethereum, like EOS, like Cardano, like Qtum, but I don't hear too many people talking about it. I really like Lisk. When their mainnet goes live, they have the opportunity to have decentralized apps come out like crazy, and here's why. There are a ton of people that have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript skills to write applications. So what does that mean? Well, if you have a ton of developers and they're thinking about, hey, I want to write the next cool dApp, what platform should I put it on? I'd choose Lisk if I have web developing skills. And there you go. So don't be surprised if you see this one about 5 or 6 times more than what it is now as we get into the summer months. That's just my opinion. Verge is down. Boy, it crashed. It crashed. It's sad, but hopefully, that partnership works out for it. Nano, this used to be Ray blocks. I may pick up some of these. I'm intrigued. Their way of doing the blockchain or decentralizing transactions is a little bit different than the way things are now. So I encourage you to take a look at how they do things, because their way of doing things could be like the next wave of decentralization. Populous, Their beta is out. So they're very close here. I believe May, or maybe May is their beta as they're coming out. So, but they're very close to having their platform ready to be launched for people to start using it, which is a big deal. Populous is in the invoice factoring sector, which is pretty good. Bitcoin, you know, when I first started looking at crypto, I really liked Bitcoin. I still kind of do. It's always been hanging around in the top 15 market cap. It's a very cheap coin. Now, granted, look, there's 183 billion of those suckers, right? That's a lot, right? But, you know, less than a penny, that might be your everyday transactional stuff. I don't know. And it looks similar to Bitcoin. There's Steam, $3.13. You know, the idea behind Steam was to keep it as close to a dollar as possible. So that's not happening. It's been hanging, you know, well above a dollar for a long time. So those people that post things on Steam, and I encourage you guys, if you're watching this, open up a Steam account and go on your Facebook and your Twitter accounts and say, hey, I'm leaving Facebook. I'll probably keep my Twitter account so I can stay up to date on news. But I think I'm going to delete my Facebook account and want you guys to come over and check out Steam it. Encourage people on Facebook to move over to Steam it, because now you're going to help get people into cryptos and be like, oh, what do I do with these Steam dollars? Well, then they're going to ask you, hey, oh, it's real simple. You just go to the exchange and exchange it for, you know, Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash, and set up an account on Coinbase and you can cash out your crypto earnings. Or just keep it in there. Or tell them, hey, maybe you should take some of your Steam earnings and put it into Litecoin or Bitcoin or something. So, I don't know, what was I going to go over? Palm Pay. Just heard this on Pure Blockchain Wealth today. Ken Bozak. How goes it, Ken Bozak, if you're watching this? That was nice. You found Palm Pay. They actually are doing a point of sale system that's running on top of BitShares. And why did they choose BitShares? Because of the amount of transactions it can handle per second. So BitShares isn't going away. Dan Larimer, great developer, developed Steemit, developed BitShares, and now he's behind EOS. And don't think he's like start a project and quit it. It was he gained the experience with Steemit. Actually, he was in on with Bitcoin. He helped, you know, in the early days of the development of Bitcoin. So he's been around. He's been around the whole decentralized blockchain stuff. And I think just about anything he does, he's been pretty successful with. So, looking for my favorite one. My favorite one is Digibyte. There's a lot of talk about Digibyte making some big moves this year, hitting some milestones. So, again, 3 cents. Pick up a bunch, it goes to $1. You just multiplied your money by 30 times. So, you know, for $100, you get, you know, 3,000 when it's all said and done. Oh, what else? I'm trying to find my smart cash. It was up to 79 when it was at like 24 or 25 cents. I think it hit 25 cents today. You can see it drop down. And now it's kind of like hanging out there. Maybe it found some support at 20 cents. Let's take a look here and see what the chart says. Shrink this down. That may be a support level for them, huh? That quite possibly could be the support level, ladies and gentlemen. We may never see smart cash get this low again. Wow. I think it might hang out here. It's probably going to hang around that 20 cents. You know, honestly, if I'm looking at it, it shot up to, you know, from just a few days. Well, April 17th, we're hanging around 12, 13 cents, right? And today's the 19th, and it hit a high of 23, 24, almost 25 cents. It hit a high of 24 cents, so it jumped almost 12 cents in a matter of 2 days. Almost 100%. Yeah, that is 100%. From 12 cents to 24 cents in 2 days is 100%. Where are you going to see those gains? Now we're hanging around 20 cents. But just to go back to the Walmart cheat sheet. Yeah, it helps you get your groceries faster. The Wall Street cheat sheet. Keep that in mind when you're looking at things. So when things hit a high, they're going to come back down, level off, and then they're going to go back up again. This may be a new cycle. Okay, but with the amount of volume that came in here, I'm going to say it's probably going to hang around at 20 cents. Especially as volume can continue on for the next couple of days, you're going to see it hang around 20 cents. So, let's see what's going on in the news today. I usually like to check CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, there's other ones that I'll look at once in a while. So the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, or the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. But the title of this, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, pledges 2018 blockchain standards release. For those of you that don't know, the Ethereum or the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is made up of a couple hundred companies, Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies are on this because they see the benefits of using smart contracts to make their businesses more efficient. So I can guarantee you they're absolutely digging in to figure out ways that they can use smart contracts or Ethereum. So the big thing here that they're trying to do, and this is important because, again, we're in that early stage, things kind of need to get standardized and held up to a high standard so things don't get out of whack. So Miller, where's he from? I'm trying to think. Jeremy, founding board member of the 450 member group. All right, so there's over 450 people on this Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. So anyway, he told the crowd, we need interfaces to plug into. Now this might sound boring, it might not be top mind for developers looking to launch a white paper and promote their ICO on Telegram. I get what he's saying. These companies, organizations, they want an interface that they can plug into. Like, hey, I want to put this information on the blockchain from my company. How do I get it there? And how do I do it easily? I almost feel like they need an API to do it. Those of you who are familiar with computer terminology, API is application programming interface. So anyway, what's that? Elsewhere, he said the group has seen progress on setting standards and specs relating to oracles or smart contracts meant to feed external data in the blockchain system. This is big. So hopefully sometime this year these standards are going to be out, and that's going to start pushing things forward. You're going to start seeing more adoption. People were saying too that the gains we saw in 2017, we're not going to see them in 2018. I beg to differ. I think things are going to be bigger this year than they were last year. Just my opinion, because you have all these organizations putting their products or services out. Major investors met with SEC to discuss crypto exemption. Now we're talking my language. So, major crypto industry investors, Andreesen, Horowitz, and Union Square Ventures reportedly held a private meeting with U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission officials to discuss the exemption of blockchain-based tokens from the agency's oversight. The Silicon Valley venture capital firms and their special counsel met with senior officials from SEC's Division of Corporate Finance and the offices of some commissioners on the 28th of March. Companies apparently argued that regulation could suppress blockchain innovation. I agree wholeheartedly there. And posited that cryptographic tokens do not constitute investments, which in the SEC's idea would be securities, so they do not constitute securities. Instead, they argued tokens are a means of accessing blockchain-based services and networks. Now, bingo, right? I can't go walk into Chuck E. Cheese and just stick a quarter in Chuck E. Cheese things, the little machines there. I have to have Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Are the tokens worth anything? Oh, I mean, I paid for them with money, and I used the machine, and it possibly gave me some tickets, and the tickets are supposed to be worth something. And some of these products or services that are coming out on the blockchain, they kind of work the same way. You get some other token, and then they give you some tokens or something for it, and then you can do something with those tokens that you got for giving them your tokens. So then you're all tokenized. Everybody's just tokening it up. Anyway, so they argue the tokens are a means of accessing blockchain-based services and networks, or in other words, are so-called utility tokens. The firms would not, however, object to SEC intervention in cases of fraud. So, honestly, the SEC and some of the rules, like being an accredited investor, I think is complete crap. For instance, let's get out of the blockchain world and into the stock market world. IPO, Snapchat, IPO'd. The people who were able to get in pre-IPO, okay, this is insane. They probably paid like 15 cents per share of stock of Snapchat. And then when it went live, the day that all the public people could go in and buy it, it went for $15. But because you're not an accredited investor, you can't get it. Do you see what's going on here? Like, I honestly think the SEC was created to make the rich get richer and keep the poor from ever advancing. So cryptos come along, ICOs come along, and up until last year, until ICO, they really didn't care much about the ICOs until we started heading into the fall. And you started hearing some chitter chatter talking about it. It wasn't until early this year that you really heard the SEC come out and talk about things with regulating ICOs. Folks, write to your congressman. Tell them to go to the SEC and keep their fingers out of the blockchain. Keep their fingers out of ICOs. The only thing I can even tell them that would be worth doing is what was stated here. That the Andreesen Horowitz investors, right, those people went and talked to the SEC, please intervene if there's fraud. Because there's going to be fraud. But that it's at the same token, why do I have to have the nanny state take care of me? Let me invest in some stupid project because I didn't do my homework and I lost $1,000 of my money or whatever I invested into it. Let that be a lesson learned, right? Because when all you do is keep giving the fishermen the fish and you never teach them how to fish, what happens? Becomes enabled and expects you to take care of them all the time. We need to get out of that mindset, folks. Let's take care of ourselves. You know, the guy who's just learning how to fish doesn't, he takes his boat out there when the waves are 6 feet high on Lake Erie. Not a good idea. Now, the true fisherman knows what's going on. Yeah, you could say, oh, well, that's like the accredited investor, and no. Forget about it. Just because someone has more money or more assets than I do doesn't make them any smarter than me. It just so happens they happen to walk into more money than I did. They did something different than I did that they had more money. Doesn't make them any smarter than me. So I totally agree with Andreesen Horowitz and Union Square Ventures. And for those of you who don't know who Mark Andreesen is, because he's the Andreesen part of Horowitz, he helped write the first web browser. So he's an innovation, try to get at the forefront, understands what's going on, don't suppress things kind of guy. The first web browser was not Internet Explorer, folks, and it wasn't Netscape. It was Mosaic. And he put it out on a news group, and people started downloading it, and then along came, I forget his name, but he was a big-time investor. He made a ridiculous amounts of money, but he took the guys from that helped create Mosaic and they created Netscape. And if I'm not mistaken, Netscape was morphed over into Mozilla, which creates Firefox browser, one of my favorites. So, and then here, I'm not sure how many of you have done anything or heard about the Brave browser, but it blocks ads by default. Gets rid of the ads, and then it also works with the basic attention token. So you can load up the basic attention token into your wallet, so to speak, and say, I'm going to load $20 on it, and then anytime I'm visiting this site or I'm watching this person on YouTube or this doing whatever, I'm going to give them some basic attention tokens. Now, that the people that want to accept those basic attention tokens, I believe they have to set some things up on their end. Basically, like claim who they are and then tie that into anything that they want people to work with. But here's the big deal. Here's the bigger part of this is the Dow Jones Media Group. You know, they're a pretty big media group out there. It's partnered with privacy-oriented browser startup Brave to experiment with a blockchain content delivery system. The company's announced Wednesday. The partner said they will test content delivery using Brave's blockchain-based platform for digital advertising, on which Dow Jones Media Group subsidiaries Barron's and MarketWatch will also become verified publishers. The partnership will also furnish selected Brave users, for which there are approximately 2 million, with access to Barron's and MarketWatch premium content, according to a press release. Our new model reconnects users and publishers without compromising privacy. Huh. You hear that, Facebook? Privacy. Something you really don't know anything about. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I just want to cover a couple of things with you, see what's going on. What's your sentiment? Is the market set to pop? I feel like Bitcoin, obviously, is like the gauge for the entire market, because when the tide rises, it raises all ships, right? Plus, most of your trades happen from Bitcoin into another cryptocurrency. So, honestly, I feel like it's popcorn that's been in a microwave now for about 3 months, 3.5 months. And it's just building up pressure, and then the popcorn's going to start popping. So, alright guys, nice chatting with you tonight, or today, or whenever you're watching this video. I'm out. You guys have a good night, good day. God bless, keep it real, and keep on keeping on.